on.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a Top 10 Tuesday in the Doghouse. I am your host, Thom Abraham, and you know what? I think we have a fun show for you today. You know, with AEW in town tomorrow night for a live Dynamite and on TNT and a taping of Collision for Saturday night, Big Bill Morrissey is going to stop by the studio. All 6'10", 275 pounds of this guy. Now, originally, it was supposed to be Mark Briscoe, but he had a conflict. And to be honest with you, I'm good with that. Because Briscoe, he was a bit of a scary-looking dude. I'm just going to say that. Not that Big Bill isn't intimidating, but Briscoe kind of looks like he has a screw loose or something. I'm not lying here. Just telling you. I was a little bit concerned about Briscoe coming in studio. Now, since we have a professional wrestler in studio with us today, our Tuesday Top 10 is going to be my personal top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. This is not like Dan Gable, and it's not real wrestling. This is, my top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. And this list is not going to have many current guys on there. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm more of a fan from back in the day. I'm more of a fan of the 80s, 90s, wrestling. So my list is going to be more of a dated list, if you will. But we'll get that to you in a little bit. Also on the show today is Justin Ferguson from the Auburn Observer with the Tigers on Rocky Top for a huge game tomorrow night. It's always fun when Bruce Pearl returns to the Hill. But in this one, Auburn is just a game back of Tennessee and Alabama in the SEC standings with 4 games to go. Tons of implications in this one. And, of course, the Vols will be in Coleman Coliseum on Saturday night as well. So this is really getting good here down the stretch. Now, phone lines are open at 256-576-4977. You can text the show, 7329-TA-SHOW, at 732-982-7469. Great way to communicate with us. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. We're also on the Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. You can get a link there to our YouTube channel, WZZN TV. You can like and subscribe on YouTube and get notifications. Just go to 97.7ESPN.com and get links to all of that stuff. And while you're at it, get our app. Just search 97.7 ESPN The Zone from your app store, no matter what kind of phone you have. Just search it there, and then you're going to get links. Not only do you get the app, and you get crystal clear show anywhere you go, you'll get links to Zone 2 and Zone 3 and Zone 4 and Zone 5 as well. All our alternate streaming channels for more great Just check out our calendar at 97.7ESPN.com for information about that. We got high school games coming up this week. We've got Buckhorn in the Final Four. That game is going to be 10:30 tomorrow morning. You'll hear it here. We have got Huntsville High in the Final Four. That game is going to be at 1:30 on Thursday. You'll hear it here. I don't think we'll be affected tomorrow. It'll be close, but I don't think we'll be affected tomorrow with the Buckhorn game starting at 10:30. They should be clear by the time we start at noon. Of course, on Thursday, we will be affected because the pregame for that will start, I think, around 1:15 or so. And we have to take the state feed, just so you know. So if you're wondering, where's Captain Cool? Where is the Bandyman? Where is Steve Mouleton? Where is the Scott Tyson? Okay? If you're wondering, Drew DeArmond will still be there, because he'll be there keeping the scorebook, for Huntsville High. But the rest of the guys won't be because we are compelled to take the state feed for the Final Four from Birmingham. But we'll have that. But all of this information is right there. I mean, we've got UAH basketball coming up this weekend. We have got the Havoc on Friday and Saturday night. I'll be doing a game on Saturday night. So we've got that for you. Of course, Alabama and Ole Miss. That's tomorrow. We got all kinds of stuff. We got everything but spring training baseball. We don't have any of the spring training baseball games with the Braves. We might have one, just to shake things down later on into spring training season. The Underwear Olympics are getting underway in Indianapolis, the NFL Combine. And more head coaches are skipping the event, which I find to be kind of interesting. I mean, on the one hand, I get it. Yes, you will learn more at these guys' pro days and in their individual visits when you have them in for a visit. I get that. But on the other hand, you are an NFL head coach. What are you doing this week? I mean, this is your gig. This is your job, no? I mean, what else do you got to do? You're an NFL head coach. The epicenter of the NFL this week is there in Indianapolis. Coaches are being interviewed. They're talking to media. They're going on to ESPN, talking about their, free agency that's coming up. I mean, if nothing else, to see and be seen. Maybe hold a staff meeting or two. Do some coachy stuff. I mean, look, you want all your players to show up at the voluntary workouts, don't you? You want your players to be there at the OTAs and the mini camps and everything else. You want them to do this off-season stuff. But you can't be bothered to go to Indianapolis for a week or for 3 days to check out the next class of pros? I don't understand this. The LA Rams' entire staff is not going. Neither are the Seahawks under first-year head coach Mike McDonald. What is so pressing that the Seattle Seahawks staff can't go to Indianapolis for a week, hunker down, have their meetings, and do their stuff, see these guys, maybe talk to some agents. Just be there. It's your job. You're getting paid $5, $6, $8, $10 million a year. It's just where the NFL is in Indianapolis on this 1 week. Oh, you want those kids to come in, though. You want those players to come in for voluntary workout. But you can't go. I understand it. Mike LaFleur of the Packers not going to be there. Mike McCarthy of the Cowboys not going to be there. Robert Saleh. Hell, if I'm Robert Saleh, I'm going just to kind of make friends with people so I can get my next job when I get fired 8 weeks into the season. Just, I don't understand it. Doesn't make sense to me. All right, over there in that little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax and manning the phones and keeping us on the air. It's another thing I don't understand. DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a 1 hour television spectacular.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Now, Thom. Hey, Thom.
He may be the smartest person that I've ever met.
Testosterone high today.
What's that?
Testosterone, whatever the it is. Testosterone.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Grizzalicious, how you doing over there today?
Doing all right, doing fine, and yeah, I'm just like everybody else. I'm kind of irked about seeing some of these players not throwing, and that's the whole point of the Combine. I enjoy the Combine. I don't like that some of these coaches aren't going to show up because it just sounds like they're sending their scout assistants or whatever.
They're not even sending their staff. The entire Rams staff.
So like nobody. Well, not a soul.
They're scouts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're scout dudes that go to like college games.
Coaches.
The guys we see at college games sitting next to us.
I mean, I'm just saying if I'm a linebackers coach.
Yeah.
And my team is in need of linebackers, and we're looking at linebackers, I'm going to the Combine.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Combine. What the hell else you got to do? You're a professional
You're not recruiting.
football
That's recruiting.
coach.
That is actually recruiting.
This is recruiting.
Yeah.
What are you doing that you can't be there?
Right.
If for no other reason to kind of kibitz and be around the other coaches and talk at a rumor mill. I mean, this is how coaching works, that kind of stuff. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when the next job is that you're looking for. You know what I mean? I don't understand it. To me, I would think that you would want to be there. I would want to. And yeah, that's a whole nother thing. The players that don't throw, the quarterbacks that aren't going to throw. All right, Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams are not going to throw at the combine. Why? What's the big deal? Why can't you go and throw at the combine? Well, I don't have my guys. You don't think everybody knows that? Are you going to get measured? Because I want to know whether or not Caleb Williams is 6'1" or not.
Yeah.
Or if he's 6'125". And what's wrong with a guy throwing? They know that you're not running routes to your own receivers. I'm going to see you spin the ball. I want to see it come off your hand. Yes, I'm coming to your pro day. But the arrogance with which, and I'm not going to do anything. Not going to run. I'm not going to go through the cones. I'm not going to throw for you. I'm Jaden Daniels. I'm not going to throw for you. Drake May is throwing. Bo Nix is throwing. Michael Penix is throwing.
I just think it would be you could make it a big event for the NFL where you could bring back athletes or players that are playing right now, former athletes, make it a whole big week, and it could be like a thing where they could get away, and it would be like a vacation day even for coaches, even though it's recruiting.
Well,
I know they have the coaches meeting
bonding.
and everything like that.
Yeah. I mean, if you got a new staff like they got in Seattle, and I get that they got in their meetings and things like that, but take your operation to Indy. You got your coaches, get them away from their families and stuff, and do a little bonding with your staff.
Yeah.
And, by the way, look at players. There's a value to it. If Andy Reid is there, then you should be there. That's the way I look at it. I mean, the GMs are all there.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And what I really don't understand is you have that, and then you have them, belly aching that not everybody showed up for off-season workouts, the voluntary program.
Yeah.
Or they didn't show up for an OTA, or they didn't show up for a mini camp. Well, you know what? If you don't want to do anything in the off-season, why are you asking them to do it?
And we just keep pounding ourselves in the heads, and it's just like the teams that do need it, you need to be there. You need to figure out what you're missing, your key pieces that are missing.
I'm interested in this note that you sent me. Bama Brad on the line, and I'm not 100% sure what it means.
What?
It says. Is that two people?
That's two people.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I thought Bama Brad was saying a D, and I'm like, what's he talking about D?
He goes by B.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no. There's two.
All right.
It keeps it together when you type it underneath.
I see what you're doing. Okay. I thought that was a comment from.
I didn't make a space. That's
I thought that was a comment from Bama Brad. Is D on a first timer?
I believe so. Yeah, I've never.
Well,
I don't think I've had him.
Speaking of wrestlers, go get Nature Boy ready. No, he's not yet. I don't have him on the phone yet.
He's ready.
Let me talk to Bama Brad. He came in first. Bama Brad, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys today?
Oh, fantastic.
You know what? I am so excited to hear you and Grizz griping and complaining about this combine and people not showing up, because I turn in your show for 2 hours every day to get away from Fox and Friends.
Yeah.
And yesterday I thought I was on Fox and Friends.
Oh, what did we get into? We got into something political yesterday at some particular.
Oh, yeah.
It was for what?
I mean,
Brad, it was for 1 minute.
So sorry. I had to call both my boys and say, guys, I turned in this show to get a little relief from that stuff.
But sometimes politics and sports mix. You know what I mean? They kind of cross over.
No. Let's don't talk any politics on this sports show.
Well, I'm just saying sometimes the politics bleed into our sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are issues in sports that fall on political lines. I forget what that was, but I don't even know what the topic was.
We won't go there again today.
Okay. All right.
Listen.
Yeah.
Let me run this by you since I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we're going to take Caleb Williams regardless of whether he throws, gets measured, or anything else. That's almost a given. They're going to take it. So what if we trade Fields for Josh Jacobs and their first number 2 pick, which is round pick, which is 41, I think. They're going to lose him anyway because he's a free agent.
They don't have to trade him. I mean, you don't have to trade for him because he's going to be a free agent unless they try and do a sign-in trade. But but wait a minute, you think that the Raiders are going to give up the Josh Jacobs and a first-round pick for Josh Fields?
No, second round.
Oh, second rounder?
Second round pick. Yeah, they got like a 41st pick.
Yeah, my guess is that you'd be lucky to get the second-round pick, much less Josh Jacobs. But Jacobs, I don't know what Jacobs going to do.
They need a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's our bargaining power.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it'd be a good trade.
Yeah, it would be a great trade for the Bears. It'd be a great. But are you 100% sold on this Caleb Williams?
No, I'm not. But we're going to take him. I mean, all indications are they're going to take him. So I guess I'm going to have to. I guess we'll have to learn. Like I'm like you. I don't know. I don't even know if he's 6 foot. I don't know if he's even 6 foot tall. I got a lot of reservations on it, but all indications from all these draft experts, which they talk to everybody, all indications are they're going to take him.
I'll just say this. When you get within 2 months of the draft, you know how you can tell if a GM is lying? Their lips are moving.
How's that?
Their lips are moving. So be very careful with all of that. It'll be interesting to see. I think there's other issues about the kid. I mean, I worry about other things about his mentality. First of all, his record against top 25 teams is not very good. His record against top-ranked teams versus his record against bad teams, it's totally different. The kid does not Patrick Mahomes gets better when he plays in the playoffs. This kid gets worse whenever he's playing against better competition. He holds the ball, takes way too many sacks, and so he holds the ball some. And I don't know where his head is. I mean, that scene with him crying with his head in his mother's bosom, after a loss. This is a 21-year-old man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what his mentality, and worried about writing little notes to the opposing team on his painted fingernails and stuff. I don't know about it, Brad. I just don't know.
Yeah, I really thought I preferred Jaden Daniels, but after today, he doesn't want to throw either. I don't know about any of these guys. I know they got agents behind them telling them what to do, though, so you can't always blame it on the kid.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
But I believe Fields is going to be traded, so
yeah.
And I think we could use a good running back. I just thought that might be a good option.
Great running back, yeah. I mean, that would be a fantastic running back to get. But there's going to be a number of them on free agency, I think. I mean, we'll see whether or not, what are the Titans going to do about Derrick Henry? They say that book isn't closed yet. What's going to happen with Saquon Barkley? The Giants say that book isn't closed yet. I mean, there are a number of backs out there, and backs are kind of plug and play. You know how that goes a little bit. Backs are a little bit plug and play.
Yeah. Well.
All right, man.
I don't know. Just a thought I had. Y'all have a good one.
Appreciate you. What did we say? What was political yesterday that we got into a little 3 minutes of politics that Brad had to turn the radio off? Do you remember? I didn't even forget what it was.
Maybe it was.
Were we talking about because we suck?
Something like that, maybe.
In sports
maybe,
now?
Yeah, I think.
I mean, now we can't even, the one thing we dominate is chick soccer, right? We can't even win a chick soccer game now.
No.
Now we get beat by.
It's embarrassing, actually, now.
Mexico beat us in a chick soccer game. That's
and
our thing.
We've had all these, young talent that are supposed to be, really good, too, and they haven't.
Now we're not going to be good in that?
Yeah.
Let me get D on the line here. D, welcome to the show. How are you? D, where are you?
Hey, man.
Hey, how you doing, brother? I am fantastic. Is this your first time calling a show, D?
It is.
Hit him. Woo! We had Nature Boy hanging out, waiting to welcome you to the show. So what's up?
Appreciate it. Hey, so I had an idea for rushing the field. I think most people rush the game or the field for games that they didn't expect to win or very excited about winning.
Yeah.
So I think if they rush the field, then they should lose that very game.
Exactly what Greg Byrne said. Greg Byrne, the Alabama AD, he said that if the way you want to stop this rush in the field thing is that when they rush the field, forfeit the game. There you go. So that's what, now his team, of course, Alabama doesn't do that. I don't know that they rush. I don't know if they've rushed the court, but they don't rush the field. I know that they don't rush the field in football because when you rush the field, you're saying that we're shocked that we won the game. And
right.
Bear Bryant always said, why would we ever be surprised that we won a game? We were supposed to win a game. So they don't do it. which I think is cool.
Oh, well, I didn't know nobody had already mentioned it, but I just thought that would be a good idea.
It's a good idea, Dion. That's a good idea. That's what Greg Burns said. Greg Burns said the exact same thing. He said the athletic director. You're thinking like an athletic director. All right. He says that, and he says the money. Thanks for the call, D. I appreciate it. That's a good job by you. Don't be a stranger. What Greg Burns said is that the money is ridiculous. He said that last year they had a student manager one year almost lose an eye after a field storming in the last few years. My guess would be that would be the Tennessee game. It would either be the Tennessee game or the LSU game. He almost lost an eye. He had a concussion. He ended up being concussed, and the doctors were able to save his eye. We had a female doctor, get pushed down and bruised up pretty bad. Something needs to be done about it. And then he said the fines are meaningless. He said kids aren't going to be in the stands saying, oh, I don't want to do this because the school's going to get fined $200,000. Kid don't care. Unless you put toll booths around the court, you put like a little toll booth thing or like a parking meter.
Yeah.
And if you rush the field, you got to drop like a 10 in there. All right, you got to put in $10. Now let's see the kid rush the field. Put your credit card in there before you rush the field. They don't care. They don't care. And he says it doesn't even enter their mindset. If they knew that the game that they just had that they're going to be a part of and to celebrate a great win that led to it, then if they knew that they were going to lose the game immediately, that would stop them. That would stop them. Interesting. All right, we're going to get a break in here. When we come back, Big Bill is in the building. He's a big dude. He's going to have to duck when he comes through our door. We ain't messing around. Big Bill is next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Free air-chilled boneless chicken breasts and 4 juicy boneless pork chops with your order. omahasteaks.com/VSiN.
Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Major League Baseball spring training in full swing. The Dodgers enter the season as the favorite to win the World Series at plus 375, with Atlanta the second among betting favorites at plus 550. The defending World Series champion Houston Astros check in at plus 800, with the Yankees at plus 900. Aaron Judge a plus 550 favorite to win the MVP, with Juan Soto at plus 600, Corey Seager plus 850, and Yordan Alvarez plus 900. Julio Rodriguez plus 1,000 to win the MVP. March Madness is fast approaching. Connecticut the 450 favorite to win the national title, followed by plus 700 Houston, plus 700 Purdue, plus 1,200 Arizona. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
What's better than 2 end-zone sports bars? 3 end-zone sports bars. And we have you covered with our original location on University across from Red Lobster, in Jones Valley on Cecil Ashburn near Carl T. Jones, and our newest location in the Midtown District on McMurtry Drive opposite the Target Plaza. All locations feature the NFL Sunday Ticket, Tuesday half-price burgers, and Wednesday $1 jumbo wings all day long. You're never far from the end zone. End Zone Sports Bar.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right, even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
Hello, sports fans! The Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need to hear from you. Did you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today and tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance. sportsbettingalliance.org.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
In Tuscaloosa, we live by the blue-collar basketball motto.
Stepping back, deep three, bottom.
Hard work.
2-on-1, driving, stepping through, tough shot, got it to go.
Teamwork.
Play the song for the champions of the Southeastern Conference.
Join us for every game right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Tuesday, expect a few isolated showers, mainly in the morning. We'll see dry conditions heading into the afternoon. Otherwise, you can expect to see mostly cloudy sky. High temperatures topping out in the mid-70s for the afternoon. We could also see gusty winds as high as 30 miles per hour. Heading into your Tuesday night, cloudy sky, windy conditions remain. Low temperatures expected to fall into the upper 50s. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And welcome back to Thom Abraham Show. It's a Top 10 Tuesday in the Doghouse. Later on in the show, our Tuesday Top 10 is going to be my personal list, my 10 favorite all-time wrestlers. That's going to be the list. And again, I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for all the current guys, forget about it. You're not going to see a lot of that. You're going to see the old school guys because, I go back to the 90s and the halcyon days, in the Monday Night Wars and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to hear a lot of those kind of names out there. But we're lucky. Chris got the big AEW show coming in here tomorrow night. Dynamite and Collision. They'll be Dynamite's live on TNT. Collision will be recorded for Saturday, and Big Bill Morrissey. He's going to be on one of those shows. We're assuming he's going to be on one of those shows since he's here, and he joins us in studio. All 6'10", 275 pounds of him is in studio with us here. And Big Bill, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. And I have to correct you there. I was just in Mexico and I weighed myself. 301.
You're up to 301.
301.
I'll tell you what, you carry 301 really well.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, you're just a big dude all the way around. It reminds me of when I first saw Shaq years ago. I saw Shaq play basketball in Orlando. And it wasn't like he was just a 7-footer. He was a 7-footer that was proportional, and he looked different than ever. He looked like a daddy out there playing with his kids. You know?
I saw him at WrestleMania a few years ago in Dallas at the Cowboys Stadium, and this is the first time I ever saw him. When I met him, I laughed because all I could think was, how did anybody guard this guy? Like you said, he's so tall, but he is just gigantic.
Yeah, he looked like he was playing with his kids, and that was when I saw him. That was at Orlando, and I'm like, Orlando, and he was skinny then compared to how big he got. He got to the point where he was unstoppable, which brings me to you because you have a basketball background. I mean, you're a legit 6'10". It's not like some of these wrestlers, they list them at 6'10", and they're 6'8" or 6'5". You're a legit 6'10", but you were a captain of your high school basketball team, I believe, and or went on to NYU. You played basketball at NYU. Were a captain there, and so how does a guy, a bright guy, by the way, very smart guy, honor student, you go pre-law at NYU, and then you decide I'm going to be a wrestler. I mean, there's a disconnect there somewhere. How do you go from being in pre-law to deciding that, and being a basketball player at NYU to deciding now, I think I'm going to be a professional wrestler?
So I got a scholarship to NYU for academics, and then the coach came and to my high school, Archbishop Malloy, saw me play, and then he asked me if I wanted to walk on at NYU. And while I was at NYU, I was pre-med. Mm-hmm. So your junior.
What did I say? Pre-law.
Pre-law, yeah.
Pre-law, pre-med.
So you're at the end of your junior year, usually, unless you're really ahead of the game, you'll take the MCAT. So the summer of 2008, I remember it distinctly. It was the Yankees were hosting the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby, but I was studying for the MCAT, and this takes hours upon hours of studying. And I remember flipping through those books and thinking, I'm going to do my best on this, but I'm not doing this for the rest of my life. I can't. My true love, my true passion was pro wrestling. So once I graduated college, I went to Johnny Rod's Wrestling School the next day and joined.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were a fan of the wrestling from the beginning. So now, what are you, 37 years old? 30 years old?
36. My
36?
Wikipedia
It says you're 37.
It says 86. No matter how many times I've tweeted about it, it's 87. And
87.
They never change it. Yeah.
So you were like 10, 11 years old when all hell was breaking loose with the Monday Night Wars, right?
That was the best.
So this is where you get the bug? Is that where you kind of...
Yeah, I mean, I started going to shows at the Garden in like 1992, back in the Hulk Hogan days, then into Bret Hart, then Steve Austin. But yeah, my love really, really blossomed in the Attitude Era.
Who's your guy? So who's your guy?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah, he's on my list.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, tell my listeners right now, he's not number one on my list. He's number one on a lot of lists. He's real high on my list. But he's not number one on my list. In fact, the guy I have number one on my list really doesn't show up on a lot of lists. He's very much a polarizing type of guy, and it's surprising when you look at all-time wrestlers that he doesn't usually end up on those lists. But now you got a guy, the Big Show. He's a little bit taller than you are, and he's in AEW now, right? I don't think he uses the Big Show nickname anymore or whatever. I don't know if how that gets tied up or whatever. Is he now? He's like 52, 53 years old, something like that. Big Show. He's in his early 50s, maybe.
I'm not. Paul White is. He goes by.
Paul Wright.
Yeah. I don't know offhand how old he is.
I'm surprised they haven't figured out a way to put you two dudes together.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that's what I want to. I want to see you and Big Show. I mean, because you're like the next. As far as being 6'10", that's a big guy.
He's 52.
52? All right. So my crack research team says that Paul Wright is 52 years old now, and he went into TV and other things. Do you have other interests, other things that you might want to delve into outside of wrestling?
I do. Yeah, I would like to get into acting, and but I started doing stand-up comedy last year. I did the Comedy Cellar a few times, twice. Nothing big, just very small, 3 minutes slot and a 5-minute slot, but that was something that I really, really enjoyed. And the stand-up comedians that were there seemed to say that for a first time or second time that I had a pretty good knack for it. So that's something that I really would like to pursue. But
we have a stand-up comedy club that's like across the street. You can do from the arena. You could do your wrestling deal and then go and then do a bit at the stand-up comedy club. That would be a shock to the system.
If you could get me a slot, I'll do it.
I know a guy. Yeah. Seeing you show up though on a stage at 6'10", 300 pounds, what a visual that would be. I mean, that would be something. Now you and I also have a connection, if you will. Diamond Dallas Page. When I was in Nashville, he came on a show a number of times. He actually came out to some remotes and things like that, and he was great. And he helped you out back in the day. Through a lot. He's helped a lot of wrestlers out, and now you're going to marry his stepdaughter.
That's
right. On top of it, but just talk about what he meant to you and what he's meant to your career, because that's a guy that his star shone really bright for a long time.
Yeah. So after I left WWE, I did not. It's public information.
Mm-hmm.
I did not do well. I wasn't doing well with my addiction and mental health, and I had an incident on a show where I had a seizure from alcohol withdrawal. Just, I was really going down a bad path. And at that point, people write you off, and people, it's a business where people that you thought would reach out and text you and give you a call, they don't. So Diamond Dallas Page, he reached out to me, and he had me come stay with him. And he kind of put a lot of faith in me, and it felt really good at the time because, like I said, a lot of people had written me off. They wouldn't answer text, and he went out of his way to invite me down. I went down to his house in Atlanta. We did some DDP yoga, started living right, getting in the sauna, eating healthy, and then, of course, he introduced me to Lexi, who is my fiance. So what a gift from God that was.
Does he ever harass you about that? I mean, you've been engaged for, 2 years
No,
now? I mean, you don't just get engaged. You get engaged. I'm old enough to be your daddy. I got daughters. They get engaged, and then they got to get married. You can't just get engaged. When are you getting married?
December of this year.
Okay, so it's going to be a 3-year engagement.
No.
I thought you got engaged in 21.
No, 22. December, 2 days before Christmas in 22.
All right, well, that's not bad then.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty cool.
And we're getting married in Mexico, so we could have done it earlier, but the hurricane season and the weather in the summer, I don't want to get married in the summer in Mexico. It's way too hot. So December.
And she's a backstage host, does the interviews and things like that with AEW. Can you see a storyline developing at all out of this? I mean, we've seen it before with wrestlers, Macho Man Randy Savage and his wife, and we have seen it before. Could you see that develop at all at any particular point in time?
I'm sure it could, yeah, because it's organic. It's there. It's right there. We wouldn't be acting. It would be totally, real life. So I could totally see that happening one day.
Will there be other wrestlers at the wedding?
There'll be a few, yes.
So there's a chance that something could break out. I mean, you never know. I'm just saying, with DDP being your father-in-law and everything else, I mean, if it gets out of control, somebody doesn't like the toast, somebody says something out of line, all hell could break loose at the wedding.
I'll tell you what. I'll go get Dallas. I'll say, I'll big boot this guy. You diamond cutter that guy. Let's take care of business.
Could you take him? Do you ever tell him, I can take you, old man?
No,
because,
I've never
he might be one of those, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was kind of guy. What I mean?
No, we've never spoken about that, but no, I would not want to take a diamond cutter from him.
No.
That's for sure, yeah.
No, good stuff. Big Bill with us here. Now, you don't know, here we are 24 hours away or so from the card tomorrow night, but you at this point in time are really not aware yet of what you're going to be doing and how you're going to be doing it, right?
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago, unfortunately, me and my partner, Ricky Starks, we lost the AEW World Tag Team titles to Sting and Darby Allin. And by the way, tomorrow night, bittersweet, I guess, because Sting beat me for the tag team title, but tomorrow night will be Sting's final television appearance on AEW Dynamite. I don't have a title, but I'm pretty pissed off about it. And I think that I'll probably just walk in the building tomorrow and call my own shot and do whatever the hell I want.
There you go. That would. Why not?
Yeah,
I mean, that's a good way to go.
Yeah.
You're not going to be real fan favorite if you get after Sting too much. You know what I mean? But
That's
hey, you know what? You owe him. He took that thing away. He's amazing. I mean, can you imagine? Because now we learned that you're only 36 and not 37. Can you imagine being 52, 53 years old and being able to do what he does? Or it's crazy.
It is. It's when we had a match with him 2 weeks ago, he jumped off a balcony, which was about 15 feet in the air, and right onto the floor. And I was just, he's out of his mind. Yeah. Him and Darby, they're both out of their minds. That's what makes them so good as a team. They're both insane.
Now, when you and Starks won that championship, though, that must have felt really good for you. I mean, because you're honest about some of the stuff that you went through and so on, and to go through that path, time in WWE and where you're at right now, and now you're a champion. You win a belt. That must have been pretty cool to have that strap and think that, you know what, I've kind of come full circle a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of years of hard work, dedication, culminated in that title victory. And, I came into AEW. A lot of people didn't know me very well, and I had to earn Tony's trust. I had to, go above and beyond, go the extra mile, keep my head down, don't talk smack, keep my mouth shut, keep my ears open, and just work hard. And eventually, you'll earn the trust of the guy that signs the checks. And that, winning the tag team titles was, that gave me confidence that I knew Tony, I had gained his trust. And it was really cool moment I had with him the day that we won the tag team title. So I appreciated that. And like I said, the hard work all culminated in that title victory.
Professional wrestler Big Bill in here with us in the studio tomorrow night is the AEW Dynamite show down at the VBC. I believe some tickets still remain, so you can go ahead and get. You can still get tickets to the show. They'll be live with Dynamite and recording a collision that'll air on Saturday night as well. Bill will be involved in it. They wouldn't bring you here if they're not going to have you involved in something.
Maybe I know what I'm doing and I just don't want to ruin
Could be.
it.
Yeah. Are they going to vacate? Is Sting and Darby are they going to vacate that title, or is somebody going to take it from them?
They're going up against the Bucks. The Bucks are a world-renowned tag team. They've been a tag team for so long. I can't see nothing against Sting and Darby Allin. They're great, but I can't see them walking out of Revolution as the tag champs. No way.
I don't. And Sting doesn't have a loss on his career with AEW. You know what I mean? I mean, when you look at his record, they say 28-0.
Yeah.
So that's the deal with Sting. So it'll be interesting. What happens with that. It's amazing how deep the roster is. I went to the AEW roster. I'm like, how the hell did they get all of these guys in? I mean, how much is it comfortable for you to work? I mean, would you work 3-4 matches a month if you could, or is it just you kind of wait till they call your number? How does that all work?
I'm willing. I would love to wrestle every night. That's with we only, I say, have 5 hours of television with that loaded roster.
Right.
There's limited spots each week.
Right.
So yeah, ideally I'd like to wrestle every week on every show. When we had house shows, the House Rules with AEW, we did non-televised shows. I did all of those. One of them was here in Huntsville. Yeah, I'd like to wrestle on every show, but I know that's not realistic, especially like you said, with how deep the roster is. There's only a limited amount of spots and segments on television. So, yeah, just bust my ass, keep my head down, and when I'm given opportunities, just keep crushing them, because that's what I've been doing. So that's the game plan.
Am I wrong? It seems like most of your career, most of your notoriety has come as a tag team member.
Yes.
Is that right? More than the individual thing. Is it something where a guy gets a little bit? Do you get pigeonholed in that, where they say, okay, he's a tag team guy versus being a guy that's an individual headliner, or is it? How does that work? Do you enjoy the tag team aspect of it?
No, I think people definitely can get pigeonholed for sure and be seen as a tag team guy. And I've tried, to do everything in my power to make sure I'm not pigeonholed. And even being in the tag team with Ricky Starks, we became the tag team champions, soon after we had joined forces. But me and Ricky, we've always said we're not really a duo like that. We're not like a tag team. Like
right.
We're two individual stars.
Not the British Bulldogs or something.
Right. We're two individual stars that came together for a common goal, and that was to win titles in AEW, and that's what we did.
Are you good with him? I mean, I know.
Yeah.
Because you had, didn't you end up having a falling out a little bit with Enzo at some particular point in time, and then you guys got straight again, I think.
Oh yeah, it's the wrestling business, of course. There's always going to be fallouts and back together, and there's people that I haven't talked to in 5-6 years, and then when I see them at a signing, it's like we never.
Right.
It's like I just spoke to them yesterday on the phone. That's how professional wrestling is.
The athleticism is amazing. I always say, because people will say, oh, what about, is it a sport? Is it not a sport? I said, I don't know what you want to call it, but I'll tell you that these guys are unbelievable athletes. Just like stuntmen in Hollywood are great athletes, to do some of the stuff that they do. And that's the thing that always blows my mind is the athleticism that you find for men your size to be that athletic out there. And that seems to be, and that's not something that happens by mistake. I would imagine there's a lot of training that goes into all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, I like to think that for a guy of my size, I'm pretty fleet of foot, quick, and athletic. But some of the guys on the roster, I watch them work. The Bucks, the Lucha Bros, and so many others. I watch them, and I know deep down, no matter how hard I tried, I could never do some of the things that they do. Yeah. I could. Just incredible athletes doing things that nobody else on planet Earth can do. And that's the big appeal of, AEW is we have guys that do things that no one else in not only the wrestling industry, any industry across the globe can do.
I think it's a great promotion, and I'll be honest with you, with everything that's gone on recently, again, with Vince McMahon, I think there's an opportunity. To me, I think there's an opportunity there to grab even more market share, because I think some people, just because if they're on the periphery of it and they think of Vince McMahon, they think of WWE, and it all seems kind of nasty right now, and it's like, you know what, I want something fresh. That's where AEW comes in.
Yeah, as All Elite Wrestling, we like to think of ourselves as the challenger brand. We're a healthy alternative to what everyone has known in professional wrestling for the past 20 years. So we're offering an alternative, and we do things a little bit differently, and we offer a different product. And I think that what we have is very, very special, a very special group of guys and girls coming together for a common goal, and that's to make the best show possible every night.
85,000 people showed up at Wembley.
Yeah, it's
to
crazy.
see you guys. Were you on that show at all?
I was not on that show.
Are you going this year?
I hope so. Yes.
Yeah.
I think I will be. I hope I will be. Yes.
Do you guys have agents, or do you work yourself directly with the promotion, or do you have agents that are like, hey, we need to get our guy in this week?
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
I happen to, but I know plenty of people that don't. Agents just make it easier negotiating.
Yeah.
That's really all it is.
Well, I just wonder how competitive it is for everybody. Like you said, it's this roster of wrestlers is ridiculous. And guys, hey, I got an idea. Do you get to have input on what's going on with your career a little bit?
Yes.
So you could say, look, I got something. This is a good idea. And then they flesh it out.
Tony's very open to all suggestions, and
Tony Schiavone, for those who don't.
No, Tony Khan. Tony Khan.
I mean Tony. Oh, Tony Khan.
Yeah,
the son of the owner of the Jags. Yeah, forget about him.
He's the owner of All Elite Wrestling, and he is the final say. But he is very open to suggestions and any sort of storyline pitches or ideas, and he'll consider it. And he's an honest guy. He'll tell you, I don't think that's good. Which that's all you can ask. I just want honesty.
Just send a camera crew to the wedding. All right, and we just want to. Am I lying? Look, I'm gonna tell you. You know how many fights we've had at weddings? You know how many weddings I went to where brawls broke out?
Well, you're Italian. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that was like part of the wedding. I mean, it was like, when is the action going to start? You know, I mean, so they could do it. I find New York guy.
Yeah.
New York guy. I'm upstate New York. I always tell people a guy said this to me in Florida one time. He was from the island, because if you're not from New York, and if you're down here in the South, and you tell people you're from New York, they all think that you're from a stupid Brooklyn. You know, they're all from the same place. And I'm like, people who are from New York know I'm not from the city, because I don't sound like I'm from the city. I sound more like I'm from Chicago than I do from the city. But upstate New Yorkers sound a little more like Midwesterners that way. And the guy said to me, he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Rochester." He says, "Oh, that's Canada." He says, "Anything north of the Tappan Zee Bridge is Canada." But we both love the Yankees. Big Yankee fan. I'm so stoked for this upcoming year to get some pitching. Got to get some pitching.
Yes.
More pitching, but it's going to be really good. Both like the Knicks, but then you go off into the Jets, and that's a very rare thing, right? I mean, for New Yorkers, usually you're a Yankee, Knicks, Giants, and Rangers guy. All right. So how did you become a Jets fan?
I'm all of those except I'm a Jets fan. I just at an early age, the first ever football game I went to was a Jets game against the New England Patriots in 1993, I believe. So that was, you fall in love. That's the team you fall in love with. Right. You go to one game, you're like, these are my guys.
And the reality is you can't change. You know what I mean?
No.
I tried to quit the Browns. Even when they went away for 3 years, I tried to quit the Browns because they're nothing but misery. And my sons, I have 4 sons, are all Browns fans. My cousins are Browns fans. My dad, my grandfather started it in the 50s when the Browns were winning all the time. And so we're all Browns fans, and it's like a disease. I mean, it's like being a Cubs fan. You can't get it out of the family. And I'm like, should I try and get my sons to like a different team? And you can't do it. So I tried to quit the Browns a couple of times, and I'm like, I'm done with these people. But you can't. But you see a uniform come on the TV, and you're
that's what makes it so special. You talk about the Cubs. 108 years they went without a World Series.
Yeah.
That made that one night in 2016 so worth it. And it wasn't just the people there and the people at home that watched them win the World Series. Those people felt the connection to family members that have passed and people that used to go to games with. There was like a spiritual moment there that connected them with people on the other side when the Cubs won that World Series. Same with the Red Sox in 2004. So you got to stick with it, because when they finally win, it's going to just feel so sweet.
I would jump out of there, and then as soon as they're like making a deep playoff run, I'd jump back in, and I can't do that. So I want to, and I offset it with the Yankees. So I got 27 championships there. I'm a Bama fan, so I got Alabama.
Oh, you got Bama too. You're set.
So I'm set. I mean, I got championships, and I can.
Yeah.
No Nick. I mean, the Knicks, they haven't won with the Bruins since 2011. The Knicks haven't won since the early 70s.
Soon enough.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Every year. Soon enough.
It's right around the corner. Is when it's going to happen. All right. Is your finishing move the big boot? Is that what it is? Your move?
Yeah. Big boot and choke slam.
Oh, the choke slam.
Oh yeah, that's a brutal one.
It is brutal.
Yeah.
How'd you develop those? Did you get those right from the beginning, or is that something that you developed along the way?
I've actually been doing those since I was in Johnny Rod's wrestling school in Brooklyn, New York, up in Gleason's gym, little sweaty, hot gym, and I just stuck with them, and I've kind of perfected them.
Yeah.
So, took those, they worked, so I perfected them.
All right, good stuff.
Yeah.
Big Bill, I don't know what show he's going to be on tomorrow night. He'll be on something down there. You go on down there, check it out, and you can say, hey, I know that dude. I saw him on WZZN TV, and he was on the Thom Abraham show.
And tickets start as low as $20. There's tickets available. And like I said before, it's Sting's final TV appearance.
That is something.
Yeah, Sting. That's Sting. People listening might be saying, no, it can't be that Sting. No, it's that Sting.
Yeah.
His final TV appearance is tomorrow night.
I don't know how old I was. I think I was 4th, 5th grade. I watched him actually compete. He came out of the rafters at the VBC. I think he wrestled the cat. I think it was at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he wrestled the cat. That was the last time I went. So I'm going tomorrow. So this is going to be kind of a pretty cool, talking about young kid.
Yeah. No more rafters.
He won't come out of the
They're
rafters.
Not doing
He's not going to come out of the rafters. But that was iconic, and I can't wait to see that tomorrow because that's pretty cool as a kid seeing Sting in his final match. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I wonder if at Revolution, you think one last time?
Come down?
Could they do that?
I haven't even thought of it. That's a good idea.
One last time at Revolution, everybody's like, "Where's Sting? Where's Sting?"
Or just have him hiding like he normally does, and just have him hiding somewhere up top,
he's up
and
there
then
in the rafters,
he shows up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they find him. He's there, and now he's over there, and now he's.
I like it.
Never know.
Be legit.
Could be. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Good luck the rest of the season. Good luck getting married. Good luck with DDP and that family. That's good stuff. And thanks for coming by.
And thank you. And let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks,
This
baby.
is the year.
This is not the year, but it's getting close to the year.
Yeah.
It might be getting close to the year.
Yeah.
We need Giannis. That's what I told my Knicks. I had my NBA TV guy on last week, and I'm like, I don't think Giannis can stay in Milwaukee.
LeBron and Bronny.
And be the full. No, I don't want that guy. I didn't want him when he was talking about going there the first time. But I'd take Giannis.
Oh, yeah.
Giannis needs to get the hell out of Milwaukee. He needs to go to New York. That would be a good thing.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, Big Bill in studio with us. All right, man, appreciate you.
All right, appreciate you.
All right, we'll get a break in here. We'll come back, open up the phone lines, and wrap up hour number 1 next on 97.7 ESPN. The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
March Madness begins in the Rocket City as the Conference USA Men's and Women's Basketball Championships come to the Von Braun Center March 12th through the 16th as 9 teams look to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Lock in your seat for all the tournament action now and get the best seats available to be right on top of the action. And thanks to our friends at Dave & Buster's and Main Event, we have Power Passes available in 4-pack single session tickets available now that include $60 in savings. For more information, visit VonBraunCenter.com or visit the VBC box office.
No payments for 90 days on 23 and 24 models. Financing as low as 0% and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 47 years in a row. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I'm here to tell you it's Truck Month, the time of the year to get the best deals on F-150, Explorer, Bronco, Edge, Bronco Sport, and Escape. During Truck Month, get financing as low as 1.9% for up to 72 months on 2023 F-150 Crew Cabs, and lease payments as low as $375 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $62.82 due at signing, 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. Offer ends 2/29/24. Call 539-9441 for complete details. At Woody Anderson Ford, we have over 40 Bronco Sports and nearly 50 Explorers and about a dozen full-size Broncos, all with great sales incentives and no payment for 90 days. Truck Month only happens once a year. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hello,
Hello, sports fans! The Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need to hear from you. Did you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today and tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance. sportsbettingalliance.org.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, and pick up the phone to call, you know, one you've seen on a billboard or on TV begging for your business, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center, not in some office 100 miles away. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to. We're the ones that you meet with.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case. You want to talk to me? You just call me.
And we'll take care of it. You worry about getting well. We'll take care of the rest.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms can include pain, heaviness, aching, fatigue, or swelling at the end of the day. If this has been the case, then Varicosity Vein Center can come to your aid. Evaluation and treatment of the veins is performed as an outpatient, utilizes the latest minimally invasive techniques, and is covered by most insurances. After treatment, patients may resume most normal activities without delay. Varicosity Vein Center now has 3 North Alabama locations, one in Huntsville on South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road. Our new locations include Madison at Madison Hospital Complex and Coleman at the Coleman Regional Sports Medical Center. You can call 256-715-7151 to set up your appointment with one of our experienced and compassionate team members, or you can visit online at varicosityveincenter.com. Varicosity Vein Center, Alabama's premier vein center.
It's a beautiful day for a ball game.
Here it comes, and there it goes. Fly ball, deep left field, way back. This one is up. This one is gone.
Grab your peanuts and Cracker Jacks and get ready to cheer on the Tide.
Called third strike, a slider lower inside corner.
The Tide plays here all season long.
Here's a spin. Here's Bowman's throw home. The slide, and he's safe.
On your home for Alabama baseball, the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Sports Talk 24/7 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Doesn't anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
great guy. What a great guy. Very intelligent. Great conversation off the air. What a great guy. All right, we're going to get our top of the hour break in here, which we skipped right through, but we'll get that in here. And then when we come back, Justin Ferguson will join us from the Auburn Observer. He's up next right here on the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Buccaneers set to release a key cog on their Super Bowl championship winning defense in 2020. Sources tell ESPN's Adam Schefter they'll cut outside linebacker Shaq Barrett. After tearing his Achilles in 2022, his production did dip this past season. Releasing Barrett saves Tampa about $5 million in salary cap space. The Bucs will now turn their attention to a handful of their free agents, including quarterback Baker Mayfield and receiver Mike Evans. NBA Pistons coach Monty Williams irate over an obvious missed call late in his team's 2-point loss to the Knicks. When New York guard Dante DiVincenzo plowed into Detroit forward Oscar Thompson, Williams said it was the worst call of the season. Last night's crew chief admitted in the pool report that it should have been called a foul. In his Dodgers spring training debut today, Shohei Ohtani will be the DH against the White Sox.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Elle McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. This segment of the show is brought to you by our good friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Woody Anderson Ford doing that service work for you. And remember, they're going to get it done no matter whether it is a Ford or not. But they are using genuine Ford and Motorcraft parts on all Ford jobs. And, you know, they do, it's more than just go there and get your oil changed. I mean, these guys down there, they're doing the brake jobs and wheel alignments and engine tune-ups. They even do tranny work at the service department in the Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center. It's Woody Anderson Ford. Don't forget the certified gold pre-owned vehicles, plus the new inventory, all at the corner of Sparkman and Jordan Lane. Woody Anderson Ford, the only place I've gone in the Valley since 2004. It's my place, Woody Anderson Ford. What a great guy. I mean, you know,
really nice guy.
Big Bill. What a 6'10" Archbishop Malloy gets an academic scholarship to NYU, walks on with the basketball team, becomes, by the time he's a senior, he's a captain. But all he wanted to do was wrestle.
Should be big brain.
He's got a big brain. He's got a big brain and big guy. I mean, that's for sure. Looks like an aircraft carrier. And he said he was over 3. I said 275.
Yeah.
He's 6'10". He says he's 301. I mean, look how thin
solid
he looks.
rock.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, dude's in great shape. I mean, there's no doubt about it. All right, joining us now, guy that does a tremendous job covering all things Auburn with the Auburn Observer. It's Justin Ferguson. He is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Ferg, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Tom?
Fantastic. We just had Big Bill in here, the wrestler. Used to be Big Kaz. He went by Big Kaz when he was with WWE. 6'10", 275 pounds when he played basketball. Now he's up to 300. And great guy. It's amazing how athletic those guys are. Here's a guy that was a big man in basketball, and now he's a professional wrestler, and the athleticism that those guys show is incredible.
Yeah, no, and it's pretty cool to me as somebody who's a big AEW fan that I'm following up Big Bill. I mean, that's awesome. Yeah. He's one of my favorites. I'm actually got a game obviously tomorrow night. Auburn's in Knoxville, so sure. I'm not going to be able to make the Huntsville show, but I am going to Atlanta next week and seeing him. So that's really cool. I mean it's insane. All those dudes are in just insane shape, but especially the big guys who can move like that.
Incredible.
Crazy stuff.
And he just lost the tag team championship to Sting and Darby. Mm-hmm. And of course, this is Sting's last televised show that he's doing tomorrow night here when they do Dynamite. They're also taping a Collision for Saturday night. And so set your DVR for that. And then I guess at Revolution, that'll be Sting's last appearance ever. And we were talking with Big Bill about, don't you think just one last time we can't find Sting, and there he is up in the rafters. I mean, at Revolution, there he is. He's in the rafters. And one last time Sting comes out of the rafters. That would be cool. So,
especially at the Coliseum in Greensboro. I mean, so much history there. Oh gosh, it would be awesome.
That would be epic. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out for sure. But yeah, Big Mo was in studio. We had Jeff Jarrett in here. 2 weeks ago, Grizz? I guess it was 2 weeks ago. And Jeff and I know Jeff from back in my days in Nashville. He had been on a number of times. Smashed a guitar over my head. That's my claim to fame, is that Jeff Jarrett smashed a guitar over my head. Spoiler alert, they're balsa wood. I mean, they are really, I didn't even feel it. They're really, really light, those guitars that he uses to smash over people's heads. But he was a great guy. And that's kind of the theme. Is all of these guys they're tremendous athletes, and they're really great guys. I haven't had. We were supposed to have Mark Briscoe, and I was glad that we didn't, because that guy looks like he's got a screw loose. I don't know if I wanted Mark Briscoe in here. I'm glad that we got Big Bill instead of Mark Briscoe.
Hey, you'd have been in entertaining radio for sure. I've been watching the Briscoes since I was like in middle school. It would have been fun radio, but I can see how it could be a little bit dangerous for y'all.
We Big Bill and I, he's from New York City, a big Knicks fan, so we kind of share a Knicks affinity. And he keeps saying, "This is the year." He says, "This is the year. It's going to happen this year." I said, "No, this is not the year. I mean, they're going to make a decent run in the playoffs. This is not the year, though. This is a year, but not the year." I'll tell you what. This is the year for an exciting finish in the SEC as we get ready to go down the stretch here with these final 4 games. And wow, I mean, Tennessee and Alabama just a game ahead of Auburn and South Carolina, Kentucky lurking. Florida, I don't think, we'll see. Alabama's got to go to Florida. But everybody's kind of playing everybody down the stretch. The schedule makers did a good thing here, and these last few weeks are going to be something.
Yeah, and I mean, tomorrow night, Auburn playing Tennessee, and one of the biggest games we've seen for Auburn in a very long time. Because here's the interesting thing about it, that you talk about all those contenders. Tennessee's the only one Auburn's got to play here down the stretch, and they have to go to Knoxville, which is tough. But they play Mississippi State, they play Missouri, and they play Georgia to wrap up the year. So it's big because if you win this game, if you're Auburn, you only need Alabama to lose one more time to have a realistic shot at coming home with a championship. So they're going to take it one game at a time. But yeah, phenomenal basketball has been played in this league this year. It's going to be a great finish. And one of the biggest games left on the schedule in the entire SEC tomorrow night, Auburn in Tennessee and Knoxville.
If they do run the table and they end up 14-4, you wonder what's on the what is at stake in this game against Tennessee, because Tennessee gets this and then they get Alabama to go to a trip to Alabama. For Tennessee, if you're looking at it from their standpoint, you look at it and you say Tennessee is playing for a 1 seed. Because if they beat Auburn at home and Alabama on the road, they're probably going to be a 1 seed, regardless maybe of what happens in Nashville. But for Auburn, if they are able to run the table, Tennessee beats Alabama, Auburn wins the regular season title, you wonder what do they become? Is a 2 seed on the line for them? How high can they go? As opposed to, I think most people have them on the 3 line right now.
Yeah. I think Auburn is, their quad 1 record is probably going to hold them back this year. And they've had a little bit of tough luck this season when you look at, some wins we thought were going to be pretty big earlier in the year turned out to be not as big. Arkansas, USC, Virginia Tech. But I think in the case of this for Auburn, it's just, you win this game, you still have a chance at a championship. And if you lose this game, you take care of business and you'll be a top 4 seed in the SEC tournament. You get that double bye. And I think they're in a perfect spot right now to get a top 4 seed in the SEC or in the NCAA tournament. But if you run the table, you can knock yourself up to probably about maybe a 2 seed at this point because there's a lot left to play, and Auburn needs to take advantage of the fact that after the Tennessee game they have a more favorable schedule. Not going to be easy schedule. They have a more favorable schedule. So string together some wins and head into March with momentum. Head into the tournament with kind of the edge behind you. And Bruce Pearl talked about it after the Georgia game Saturday night. He mentioned it again earlier today when we were talking to him. Auburn's, Final Four run began with them hitting a ton of threes and beating Georgia on the road, winning their last 4 regular season games, and then, running all the way to the Final Four after that. Not saying this team's going to do that exactly, but, they put themselves in a really good position by winning the way they did at Georgia, and now they've got something set up where if they keep shooting like this, they could be as dangerous as anybody left.
Yeah, and then speaking of dangerous, this Kentucky team right now, they went to Auburn and they broke that home streak there by Auburn, got that win there, a pretty impressive-looking win, and then they just eviscerated Alabama to follow that up on Saturday. And right now, it's almost funny to say they're 9-5 in the league, 2 games behind Tennessee and Alabama, and they're the best team in the SEC today. But you know how it is, and you look at the rest of their schedule. Of course, they got that game with Tennessee coming up a week from Saturday. But it always ends up with Kentucky for whatever reason. They'll have that head-scratching loss like the one at LSU. But they've come off of that, with a vengeance, beating the 2 Alabama teams.
Yeah, no, Kentucky's playing like they're capable of playing because, they had 4 5-stars on this team and a couple of returning really good players and dudes with a lot of experience. And they just finally started playing defense at a little bit of a bigger rate. But then obviously they've always had a ton of offensive firepower, with the amount of weapon they've got. They got 3 or 4 dudes on that team who could be NBA first-rounders. And Kentucky's used to that. But I feel like they finally started playing together a lot better, especially on the defensive end. And it makes a huge, huge difference in the way they go.
Yeah, Justin Ferguson with us here from the Auburn Observer. Interesting piece you put together on Auburn going big against Georgia, putting 2 big guys on the floor at the same time. What is that all about, and is that a precursor to something we may see more of?
Yeah, it's interesting because, Auburn did that on Saturday against Georgia because they didn't have Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams goes down with knee injury against Kentucky. It's initially feared that, oh, dear, this is going to be something serious. Williams misses the Georgia game. Auburn had an off date last week, so he misses 1 game. He'll make the trip tomorrow to Tennessee. He might play. He's questionable. Game time decision, that whole thing, according to Pearl. But, I think he's obviously not going to be 100%. And in this matchup, they did a really good job of, using Janai Broome and Dylan Cardwell together to really attack Georgia where it hurts, and that's rebounding. Janai Broome has made himself into such a really good modern big man this year. He's a good distributor of the ball. He's a great shooter. He's shooting over 40% from deep in SEC play. And this is a dude who's 6'11" and didn't really attempt a 3 until he got to Auburn at any point in his career. So, it was just a really effective way on both ends of the floor. They rebound really well with it. They just really attacked a Georgia team that didn't really have the size to do it. And so we'll see tomorrow. If Jalen Williams plays, it takes some minutes, off kind of load. Chaney Johnson, obviously, that you guys are familiar with from UAH.
Yeah.
His first D1 start on Saturday night, he was excellent. He was fantastic. It was a great game for him. But this was kind of a situational lineup that Auburn used in a couple of really big runs to help them win that game. We'll see if that works against Tennessee. Tennessee really has 1 true center on the team, so maybe Auburn can kind of go double big and hurt them in a rotation at times. But it's really effective, and I think it just shows just the growth of both of those guys this year, Dylan Cardwell and Janai Broome. They've been traditionally like back to the basket, kind of, inside scoring big men throughout their careers. this year they have really opened it up where they can distribute the ball, play face up, hit shots, and Auburn got to deploy that and really get the advantage of playing two centers on Saturday.
Yeah. So talk about that matchup a little more detail on what Auburn has to do to win that, because it seems like they all of a sudden become very ordinary when they're missing their shots from outside. But what is the formula for them to get that win at Tennessee?
To me, I think it's first and foremost slowing down a Tennessee attack that can really get going with a number of guys, especially from deep. Obviously, Dalton Connect is one of the best scorers in the country. Amazing shooter, amazing offensive player. And then they have Zakai Ziegler still. They still have Santiago Vescovi. They've got big men. Josiah Jordan-James was a 5-star now. He's in his 4th year at Tennessee. They've got a ton of talent on this lineup. But when you look at it this season, I can't remember the exact stat off the top of my head, but I believe Tennessee's only won one time this year when they shoot less than 33% from deep. It's a real key. You got to run them off the three-point line. Auburn came into the game against Georgia knowing that Georgia team that they played was smaller, a little bit more run and gun, had to be relying on the three. They had their worst three-point shooting performance of the season against Auburn. So I think first and foremost, you're going to have to win with defense. Defense travels. Auburn shot exceptionally well, one of their best offensive games in a while on Saturday against Georgia. It's going to be harder to replicate that in Knoxville, in that environment, in that arena against an elite Tennessee defense. So you got to bring your own defense. So I think first and foremost for Auburn, it's, win with your defense. Make Tennessee uncomfortable and be willing to win ugly. Because I think, when you look at some of Tennessee's losses this season, they've kind of just been more uglier, kind of grinded out games. And so Auburn has shown they can win those games like that. Defensive rebounding travel. So I think that's the big thing for Auburn in this one. They've got Tennessee's got a lot of weapons, but if you can slow them down and make them a little uncomfortable, you're in a much better chance to win.
Justin Ferguson with us from the Auburn Observer. All right, there's a football team on the field today at some particular point in time.
Yep.
Talk to me about what your access is. What's it look like for you guys in year 2 with Hugh Freeze as far as being able to kind of observe anything and where you'll be able to, what kind of information you'll be able to pass along as they get started with this new roster?
Yeah, so at 4 o'clock, we're going to be going out there for first practice, and we're going to be able to watch, a portion of it. I don't know how long. It's kind of been, I think Freeze has, been really good about sometimes just letting us stay out there a lot longer than we initially expected. So maybe we get a little bit of that today. But we're going to have, one viewing window a week as it stands right now. So you'll have a few of those, and then a lot of interviews with, players and coaches. Those will be on Thursday, the new assistants. So it's a good amount of access for sure. And I'm really looking forward to it because, this Auburn football team, there's just so many question marks heading into 2024. When you look at the need to get better on offense, especially through the air, the new pieces they have there at wide receiver and offensive coordinator and other spots. I don't want to say clean slate on defense, but it's pretty close when you look at what they lost on the defensive front and in the secondary, new coordinators, some new assistants there. So, there's a whole lot to kind of diagnose and check out. And you're not going to get the answers to all your questions, obviously, in spring ball. That's not what it's for. But it's a good, kind of launching pad for the rest of the year. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. And like I said, this afternoon we'll be able to watch some of this practice, the first one out. And Auburn will have a couple of practices this week to kind of get acclimated. And then Auburn University spring break is next week. So they'll stop. And then when they come back after spring break, they'll just be able to go full speed. They'll just be ready to go. So all the kind of getting your feet wet, getting used to everything, practices that you get at the beginning of spring ball, Auburn's going to take care of those this week and then get back to work here in a couple of weeks.
I like that. I've always been a big fan of having a couple of practices before the break, and then it gets you to wrap your hands around your players for a little bit there, and then they go away, and then you can say, don't do something stupid. Don't get yourself. I don't want to hear anything. Don't get yourself jacked up, and then boom, they come in and they're good to work after the break. That's a good thing. Peyton Thorne is now, how old is this kid? Is he a fifth-year senior now, or is he into his 6th year?
Yes.
5th year?
So, I believe he might actually be a 6-year now that I think about it.
Guy. He might be. Yeah. Been around a minute, that's for sure. And you got the 2 kids behind him. This is, for Thorne, this is his 2nd year. As a starter, you would think that he would get much more comfortable. He did play much better down the stretch But there was this sense that there would be some sort of a competition. I mean, does anybody really think that Walker White and Hank Brown, the two young kids, are going to be, in any kind of a competition with Thorne, or is this Thorne and those guys just kind of hashing it out to see who, in a worst case scenario, is going to be the two?
Yeah, I do think Auburn's going to come into it with an open mind. I think Freese said after the Music City Bowl that, like, hey, we need to consider this as open,
Really?
And Peyton Thorne is going to be a guy that has the edge, right? He's got the experience. The other two guys don't have any experience at all. I mean, I know Hank Brown played a little bit, and did well in the Music City Bowl. But, I think the thing there is just, they want to see that, for Peyton Thorne, like, it's pressure. It is like, can you be better? Because the numbers he put up last season, especially against opponents that were, quality teams, bowl caliber teams last year, Auburn didn't beat any of those teams, and they struggled throwing the ball in all of those losses that they had. So, I think it's a scenario where you come in and you look at Walker White and you look at Hank Brown and Holden Garner, you look at all these guys and say, hey, if you come out here and show that, our offense can be, take a step forward with you at quarterback, we'll see. But that's a tough question to ask, because obviously Peyton Thorne's played a whole lot of football compared to these younger guys. So I'm interested to see how it goes. If I was a betting man, you'd put like, hey, Peyton Thorne's probably going to be your starter this year. But I think spring practice will be big for those young guys to get their feet wet and say, hey, is there something that I can do or something that I can show that could say, hey, why not build around me for the future, especially for an Auburn team that's not going to be a championship contender, I don't think anybody thinks this year, but have got some young pieces, some exciting pieces on offense that they can build around for the future. Why not go ahead and turn it to another quarterback? That could be a question Auburn ask itself if the young guys really step up this year.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And I've always said that is that, maybe if you're going to go 8-4 with Peyton Thorne and that's the ceiling, then maybe you go with the young guy and develop, because you're developing for the next year and the year after that. You want to be a factor, as it shakes out. And it's going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be so fascinating this year with the no divisions. I was looking at the Vegas odds to win the SEC, and behind Georgia is Texas. And, and not Alabama. Traditionally for 15 years, it's always Alabama or Georgia or Alabama. Now it's Texas in there, and I'm starting to think to myself, are we going to see a Georgia-Texas SEC championship game? We're just going to assume that Texas, playing a full SEC schedule, can continue to be what they be, or are they going to realize that this is a different animal and they're going to be an 8-4 type of team? And so it's going to be really fascinating without the divisions to see how it shakes out. But you would think that Peyton Thorne will have every opportunity to separate himself from the young guys.
Yeah, and I think if you look at Auburn this year, the no division setup might help them out a little bit. They don't play Ole Miss, looks like a good year not to play Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They don't play.
They're the third favorite,
LSU.
by the way. Ole Miss is the third favorite ahead of Alabama.
Yeah.
So they're the third favorite, and then Alabama is the fourth favorite with Tennessee, I think.
Yeah. So you don't play Ole Miss, you don't play Tennessee, you don't play LSU, you don't play Texas. You do play Oklahoma, you do play Alabama, and you do play Georgia. I mean, those are all tough teams, but Auburn's schedule, this format could help them out a little bit. Kentucky, Missouri, Vanderbilt, Arkansas. They have some opportunities to kind of, cement themselves as a team that can kind of get back to closer to that kind of middle tier, pushing ahead with some momentum behind them here in 2024. They've got a schedule they can do that against, but it's just going to be a matter of, can they take a step forward, especially through the air? I mean, it's pretty simple. Last season, Auburn won 6 games and they lost 7 games. And the 6 games that they won, they were better throwing the ball than the other team. The 7 games they lost, they were worse. And so they need to get more consistent on that side of the ball, especially with Peyton Thorne and all these new receivers and new coordinator and all that. I think that's going to be a big thing, because they do have an opportunity to take a step forward this year. And I think you see that in kind of like the Vegas lines and stuff like that, having Auburn, 6.5, 7.5. Right. They expect them to take a step forward, but it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, you could be a better team. We won't win one more game, but I like you say, with the schedule is favorable to them. All right, the Tennessean just put out the prediction for tomorrow night. Tennessee 73, Auburn 72. That's what they're saying. So that's what the Tennesseans got, 73-72 Tennessee. Boy, I tell you what, if they hold Tennessee to 73, I like Auburn's chances. You know,
I
don't think I think if Tennessee wins the game, it's a big high scoring game. I think if they hold Tennessee to 73, Auburn's liable to win that game 84-73. You know, it's just the way it feels.
Yeah, Auburn's won. I think it's like 6 out of the last 8 in this series against Tennessee, or 7 out of the last 9. The 2 losses they've had have been both rock fight, low scoring, close losses in Knoxville. That another one happens tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I mean, I really like where this Auburn defense is, and I think that's going to have to be key for them if they got a shot to win.
Always a pleasure. Justin Ferguson has been our guest. Everything you need to know about Auburn is right there at the Auburn Observer, including all the spring football. This is that time of year now where the spring football comes in, and thankfully the kids will go away for their break there, and we'll be able to focus on the end of the SEC basketball season as well. But it becomes a busy time of year for sure. Baseball starting up as well. Appreciate you as always for good stuff.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. There you go. It's a good job by him.
Another good guy.
It's always a good guy.
Another good guy.
Always a good guy. All right, we get a break in here. When we come back, open lines. We'll go open lines the rest of the way. You want to jump in? You can do it. I have my Tuesday top 10 as well. We've got that for you and your phone calls next right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Tom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Free air-chilled boneless chicken breasts and 4 juicy boneless pork chops with your order. OmahaSteaks.com/VSiN.
Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
March Madness is fast approaching. Connecticut, the 450 favorite to win the national title, followed by plus 700 Houston, plus 700 Purdue, plus 1,200 Arizona. Major League Baseball spring training in full swing. The Dodgers enter the season as the favorite to win the World Series at plus 375, with Atlanta the second among betting favorites at plus 550. The defending World Series champion Houston Astros check in at plus 800, with the Yankees at plus 900. Aaron Judge a plus 550 favorite to win the MVP, with Juan Soto at plus 600, Corey Seager plus 850, and Yordan Alvarez plus 900. Julio Rodriguez plus 1,000 to win the MVP. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hello, sports fans! The Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need to hear from you. Did you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today and tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance. sportsbettingalliance.org.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
If those high utility bills have you seeing high numbers, make sure you give our good friends over at Talent Heating and Air a call today. They can save you some money.
That's right. We're doing one of our biggest specials ever. It's $2,000 off select units.
That's $2,000 off.
And free service calls for first responders and veterans.
Free service calls.
That's right. For the month of February, we're trying to take care of these first responders, all they do for us, and the veterans, obviously, as well.
It's Talent Heating and Air. Give them a call today at
256-503-4490.
Or you can find them online to save the money
at talenthvac.com.
It's Talent Heating and Air. One more time.
TalentHVAC.com. AL cert number 21014.
It's Talent Heating and Air. Give them a call to save money today.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
If you're looking for a new couch, you could cut down on expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Because you know you've had this couch for too long. Sure, you've had good times together, but a ripped-up cushion is not a fond memory. It's a sign. Notice how other people have couches with 2 armrests? Now that's living, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renters and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new couch. Please, it's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Tuesday, expect a few isolated showers, mainly in the morning. We'll see dry conditions heading into the afternoon. Otherwise, you can expect to see mostly cloudy sky. High temperatures stopping out in the mid-70s for the afternoon. We could also see gusty winds as high as 30 miles per hour. Heading into your Tuesday night, cloudy sky, windy conditions remain. Low temperatures expected to fall into the upper 50s. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Segment of Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by Valley Equipment Rental with their 2 locations. Valley Equipment Rental has everything that you need to get the job done. Like a pro, or if you are a pro, they'll help you out. You know, you need to think about, if you are a pro, if you're a contractor, you think about long-term rentals with Valley Equipment Rental. You can always transfer that over to a purchase down the road if it comes to that, if you want to go that route. But if you go long-term rental, and that machine breaks down, they just bring in another one, boom, or they send their guy out to fix it, and you can just keep working. If it's your machine, it's your excavator, it's your compressor, it's your skid steer, and it goes down, you're screwed. I mean, send everybody home, or call Valley Equipment Rental anyway. So why not do long-term rentals with Valley Equipment Rental? It makes sense. Ross Roberts and his team are local, and they're in the North Parkway and on the South Parkway is where you'll find Valley Equipment Rental. All right, we're going to get to the phones here in 1 second, but let me go ahead and throw in your one more log on the fire. Today's Tuesday Top 10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's the Tuesday Top 10.
All right, today, because we had Big Bill in here earlier, the AEW wrestler Big Bill was in here, and I decided today's Tuesday Top 10 would be my personal list of top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. Let's start at number 10. This is the guy when I was a kid, all right, watching it on Saturday mornings. We watch the cartoons, you watch the wrestling. He was champion basically for the first several years of my life. Bruno Sammartino. I mean, Bruno Sammartino was the dude. He was from Pittsburgh. Yeah. My dad's from Pittsburgh. You know, he's from Italy, really. But in any event, Bruno Sammartino, he was my first guy. At number 9, Ric Flair. That might be lower than it is for a lot of people, but that's how it is for me. I mean, Flair, woo! Yeah. I was never a huge Ric Flair fan, but he's definitely in my top 10. Number 8, here's a name from the old Atlanta wrestling promotions and so on. Georgia, what was it called? The Georgia Wrestling Promotion. I mean, we used to watch this up in New York. It was always on Saturday mornings, and so I was on TBS. I actually have seen the studio down there back in the day.
Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Georgia Championship Wrestling is where I first saw him. I was a big Paul Orndorff fan. Mr. Wonderful. Paul Orndorff. Loved that guy. Number 7 on my list, Sting. One of the best entrances of all times, no matter what, is Sting. I want to see him in the rafters one more time. Always loved that bit with Sting. Number 6, all-time favorite wrestler for me, the Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah. Randy Savage has been one of the guys. I really enjoyed that guy all along. Number 5 favorite wrestler for me, Mick Foley, and all of his personalities.
Yeah.
You know, Mick was
Dude Love,
and
Cactus Jack,
Mick
Foley,
and jumping out of the Mick Foley.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he just because he wasn't ripped like all the other guys. He's just kind of a fat dude.
The rock and sock connection was hilarious.
Oh,
as a
the
kid.
sock!
I thought it was just funny.
God, didn't he have a clown act at one point in time too?
I think so. Yeah, I think maybe that was just like a joke, but I think I remember that. Yeah,
it was very talented guy, and I maybe jaded a little bit because I had him on the show a couple of times in studio as well back in the day. Hulk Hogan, he's number 5 on my list.
Oh yeah,
Hulk Hogan. You know, his bit, he obviously became a character, a cartoon character in terms of what he had done, but I always thought that he was great. Loved him as Thunder Lips in Rocky. He was in Rocky 3 as Thunder Lips, taking on.
Was it the 3 Ninjas too? Was he in that movie?
I don't know. I know he was there.
It was a kid's movie.
At number 4, this guy is number 1 on many lists of the greatest wrestler of all time, the greatest bit of all time. Number 4 doesn't suck. I mean, that's pretty high on a list, but he's not my number 1. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Love Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Got a man's ass to kick. You know
he's like 1A, 1B for me.
Yeah. I got him at number 4. For me, number 3 is Roddy Piper.
Yes.
It's a huge
Maniac.
Roddy Piper.
Rest in peace, the Maniac.
Oh, his bits were so funny. His Mike's time was so good.
They Live,
when he
movie?
When he took that. I'm all out of bubblegum. I came here to kick ass
and chew bubblegum.
And I'm all out of bubblegum. And he when he would take that skirt off, that kilt off, and he would, the way he would.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of Roddy Piper. Number 2 all time for me. The best mic man ever in the history of professional wrestling is The Rock. And he's my second.
Even now, he's getting crazy now. Like him going back to insulting people in the 2000s. This is what people in America and in the world need, is The Rock being insulting and talking about people's appearances.
Most guys have 1 or 2 taglines.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, yeah, or the woo. Rock had a bunch of them.
Jabroni. Shut up, B.
Then the people's eyebrow was always great with the people's eyebrow, and turn it sideways and stick it right up. Yeah,
that. Yep.
I mean, he had so many
candy
good,
ass.
Yeah, he had so many good ones. So The Rock is at but he's at number 2 for me, and number 1 for me is not even on a lot of top 10 wrestler of all time lists. I mean, if you go and you Google top 10 wrestlers of all time, my guy isn't even on the list. I'm a Goldberg guy. I like Goldberg. I want Goldberg's entry music to be part of.
That's one of your musics?
Be a bump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want Goldberg's entry music. Dun, dun. When that thing would start, when they would start with the breaking glass and a Goldberg entry music, and he would come stomping in, kind of like Mike Tyson. He would come in, he would get in the ring. He would snort, he would spear a guy, and he would leave. And he won every time forever. I mean, it was the longest time where he was undefeated from the time he showed up. And I don't know what it was about it. I don't know why. I used to shave my head and had a goatee, and it wasn't because of Goldberg. I had a lady one time tell me that she saw a headshot of me on ESPN TV. When I used to go on ESPN TV, I had a shaved head and a goatee. I don't know. I assume you've seen pictures of that.
Oh, I've seen you with your bald head and I've
seen TV with my black jacket on and sport coat on and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This was the best. 1996, 1997.
Yeah, I played Big Bill's I don't know if you
I heard
caught
it.
that. Yeah, that was his theme.
Well, that
he
was
was
good.
jamming. He was like bumping a little bit to it. He was like,
That was a good
he was
pull
ready.
by you. That was great production by you.
Yeah, I should have done that for Jeff Jarrett, but I don't know what he's changed since then. So.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that was.
I didn't think of it at the time.
So Goldberg, Rock, Rowdy Piper, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk
So-
Hogan, Mick Foley, Macho Man Randy Savage, Sting, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, Ric Flair, and Bruno Sammartino.
So no Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit.
Didn't like the little guys.
I liked Eddie Guerrero.
I was never into the little. Eddie Guerrero's fine.
Because he
There
was
are guys
he was that
just missed.
persona, man.
Let me tell you something. Razor Ramon.
Yes. Oh God.
Yeah. I mean,
Scott Hall.
Scott
Oh.
Hall, Razor Ramon. Those
Yeah.
guys, NWO guys.
Yeah.
They're close. Didn't mind Triple H. You know, Triple H is a good guy. Undertaker.
Triple H and The Rock was the funniest back and forth because Triple H could not hold his his own. He could not laugh. He was like Jimmy Fallon for wrestling. He would just crack up.
Yeah.
It was funny as hell, but it was like he just could not keep his
What was
character.
it? Kevin Nash.
The Big Red Machine. With Kane and
So there's a lot of
Undertaker
guys.
and
Kane. I got to meet Kane now several times because he's the mayor of
what was it
Knoxville.
Big Sexy was his name or something
Kane
like that?
was the mayor is the mayor of Knoxville. And so
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
met him a few times at Bassmaster Classics when the Classic is in Knoxville, and he's a big fan of professional fishing, and I've met him a few times.
My dad met him, and he
monster.
tried to get him to do the choke slam, but he said he couldn't do it.
He's a monster of a man. He's
he's
big
huge.
Man. He's a big man. All right, let's go to the lines. In order of the longest wait, Natty Danny is up first. There's a wrestling nickname. He can go by Natty Danny. Natty Danny, what's going on?
How long was that wait? I think I was a pig.
Maybe. You are a good pig. You hang in there. Be a good pig. Not a chicken.
That's almost, an hour and a half. Hour and a half. That's not bad. Anyway.
Was he on in the first hour, Grizz? I didn't have him.
Yeah.
Oh,
I told
really?
him. I told him.
Oh, okay. I didn't see you come up on my call screen until 13 minutes ago, but okay.
It's okay, Danny.
No.
That's
Since
all right.
you started, buddy.
It's a good job by you.
No.
Yeah.
Well, 97 was a good year. That was our 11th national championship.
Yes, it was.
And, of course, now we have our recent one, which is 12. We're creeping up, catching up to you guys, so it's a matter
What was
of
that,
time.
15 years ago? I think that was about 15
It
years
really does. People always talk about Bam Army championships they got. We have 12.
Who's we? You talking about Michigan?
I'm talking about Michigan.
Oh, my God. Back in the
12.
days when they used to fold their helmets up and put them in their back pocket? What do you mean you got
That's
12?
Hey, 12.
How many are real?
You got to understand
3?
it. Okay, it is what it is.
2.5.
With that said, you forgot some wrestlers.
Yeah? Well, I didn't forget them. They're just not on my list. That's all, but go ahead.
In my market,
Yeah.
you cannot forget Dick the Bruiser.
Dick the Bruiser, yeah.
All right, Bobo Brazil.
Bobo Brazil was good, yeah. How about
Iron
Superfly Sammy
Sheik.
Snuka? I was a Superfly Sammy Snuka fan, and he turned out to be a creep, but yeah.
Yeah.
How about
Iron
beautiful
Sheik,
Bobby Eaton?
baby. Okay. All right. So now those are the ones. Those are my top 3. Okay. I'm old school. These new guys, and I want the old school guys.
Gorilla
Now, with
Monsoon.
that said, Bama Brad called up, and he said he needed a good running back. Well, if you're listening, Bama Brad, I should say Tim, you had one, and his name is Montgomery, and he ran for the Lions this year.
Yeah.
You should have never got rid of the guy, okay? Look what happened, okay? This has been a monument this year, not only winning the national championship for Michigan, but it was wonderful, Tom, to my buddies, 2 great guys. I love them like brothers, Larry and Tim. It was great to be able to be on top this division.
Yeah.
And you know what? It'll happen again this year. I love it. Okay. And
Packers are going to win the division.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Here's the difference between our team and the other teams in our division. I'm going to say that offensive line was probably almost one of the best offensive lines in the NFL last year. And Sewell comes up for renew on his contract, and they've got a lot of cap space here. They're going to renew that whole offensive line because they made some gargantuous holes. I see nothing but just bright things for this team. I'm telling you. And the ace in the hole that has not played a down yet, and he's a natural, can throw a freaking bomb, had the best percentage in the NCAA the year that that was, a year or 2 ago? Hendon Hooker. He completed 70% of his bombs, okay? This guy is potentially unbelievably good. Young, we got him rested. His knee's in good shape now. Now he's just he's protege into a really good quarterback. This is Golf. And you must agree with me, Golf's a top 10 quarterback. Oh, come on! You're kidding me!
I don't know if I'd go top 10.
What?
He's up. He's top 15. I don't know if I'd go top 10. I have to look at my list. I'd have to look at my list.
Maybe 9 better. I know.
I'd have to look at I'd have to sit down and look at that for a second. I gotta look at that.
You know what? You know, you could talk about it tomorrow because right now I'm in the parking lot and I'm getting ready to bust some exercise. Okay. All right. You know, a wrestler, a short wrestler like me, has got to stay in shape. If you know what I'm saying.
I hear you. All right.
Okay. All right.
Good job by you. I don't know if I'd have him in my top 10. I don't think he's quite top 10 for me. I looked down at my call screen. I'm like, what happened to Grumpy? And now he's LSU Lynch.
Well, he knew he was behind.
Oh, he knew he was behind Natty Danny.
Yeah.
Couldn't stand it. Yeah, but then LSU Lynch comes in. It's Grumpy's brother from another mother. I mean, it might as well be the same guy. LSU Lynch, what's going on?
Look here. Me and Grumpy, we were tag team champions. You hear me?
Yeah.
We just tag out. You hear me? I'm tagged right now. Look here. I'm going to remind you when you don't remember when I called into the show. And by the way, this has been a great show, okay?
Thank you.
When you was up in Nashville, and one of my calls with you, you had a great show talking about wrestling, and I mentioned, look here, you can't forget the missing link.
I did forget the missing link. There are so many great ones, but yeah, the missing link, yeah.
And see, I mentioned that, and you did the same thing. You laughed. You can't forget that, dude. I mean, we had that call show and everything. But look here, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, or Jim Duggar and everything. And
Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I liked him. How about Scott Steiner?
I met him.
Papa Pump.
I met him.
Big Papa Pump. Yeah, how about Big Papa Pump?
Met him at a wrestling tournament.
Yeah.
And look
he was an actual wrestler. Scott Steiner was a champion.
Yeah, really nice guy.
He was a champion in Michigan, Scott Steiner.
Yeah, he had like a son or a friend in Georgia.
Why didn't Natty Danny mention Scott Steiner and the Steiner brothers? You know what I mean?
Buff Bagwell.
Yeah.
Well, look here. Maybe see, what gets me about the Mullet Man, he says he keeps going to work out, okay?
Yeah, he works out a lot.
I mean, let's just post some YouTubes of that, okay? What are you working out, okay? Are you at a buffet?
We talk about
now?
posting YouTube.
Yeah, are you
the guy can barely use his phone.
He doesn't even know how to use the app.
He can't get his app on there. YouTube, are you kidding me?
I keep him on hold.
He knows how to make a phone call.
I keep him on hold to listen to the show.
He's the only guy I know that's got a rotary dial cell phone.
So look here, he's trying to go into the wrestling ring and he can climb in.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
You go through the
ropes.
Yeah,
hey, look here, a great show today, and I'm gonna end this. Look here, when I was in the Air Force and in Panama, my roommate was 6'9". Okay.
Wow. I thought you weren't allowed to be in the Air Force if you were that big.
Well, what happened was he got a waiver. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And but he broke my goddamn lazy boy. That's what I said.
Oh, really? Brandon says, don't forget Arn Anderson from Rome, Georgia, the Four Horsemen.
Oh, yeah.
You know who's second best ever on the mic? Now, Stone Cold was good, but behind Rock, it would be Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes
definitely.
Yeah. With that
and a great athlete, too, apparently.
Unbelievable.
I mean, you put him in like a softball tournament, he was a stud. Basketball, a little tournament they did.
He jammed. He could slam in basketball, Dusty Rhodes.
Absolute athlete.
Crazy. All right, we'll get a break. We'll come back for one final segment. Still got room to get you in. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hello, sports fans! The Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need to hear from you. Did you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today and tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance. sportsbettingalliance.org.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Corralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at 5. Corralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. With beautiful Lake Gunnersville views throughout the round, Gunner's Landing is golf the way nature intended. Gunner's Landing's club repair shop offers a full range of services, including re-gripping and adjusting the lofts and lies of your clubs, even putters. Since the work is done in-house, your clubs will be returned to you in a timely manner. Unmatched in the North Alabama area, it is Gunner's Landing. Schedule your tee time today at gunnerslanding.com. That's gunnerslanding.com.
Each week, check out our latest zone deal online at 977ESPN.com.
I'm eating good food.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The anthem today brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. That's right, at North Alabama Mortgage, they have the solution for you, whether it's in Alabama, Tennessee, or Florida. Let's say you want to buy a beach house down there in Destin, Florida. North Alabama Mortgage can take care of you down there. They got special programs to help you with that second home and that lake or beach or mountain home. And don't forget, the rates may still be a little bit high. They're coming down. But as those rates come down, you can always refinance once again. Or, that average consumer debt is very, very high right now. You got high credit cards and things like that. Maybe they got you through a tough spot. Now is the time to pull the equity out of your home. And even if you get, 6% or so on your home equity loan, that's a heck of a lot lower, 3 times lower than what you're paying for those credit cards. And you can consolidate all of that debt with the money that is in your home. So check all of that out. They'll help you out. Go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more about it. They'll help you out when you go there to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. All right, Grizz, what do we got going on tonight? You got anything special going on tonight? Where
Not
going?
entirely, no. No, I don't.
A quiet night with the
yeah,
dog?
Quiet night with the dog, yeah. Walker probably told it gets dark and then head back home. Watch something on TV, movie or something.
Yeah, you don't have any.
There's Shogun on FX I've been getting into.
You don't have any real good college basketball tonight.
No.
Hockey was last night. I watched the Bruins game and the Oilers game last night. I tell you what, you want North American players?
Yeah.
Hockey. That's where they are.
Yeah.
You know, you look
Some
at
of
the
young
top
guys
five
too, yeah.
guys for the MVP. You know the number one, the two guys for MVP in the NHL are Connor McDavid and the Matthews kid. The Matthews kid's American. It's American. He's got 52 goals. The guy that's leading the entire NHL in goals is an American kid.
Yeah, good to see.
A lot of great Canadians. Yeah, you've got your Euros, a few of them. You still got a few Russians, mixed in there. But we were talking about the NBA. I mean, the top 5 guys in the NBA are all, all foreigners in terms of for the MVP voting and stuff.
Yeah.
Hockey is where you find the great North Americans. I mean, let's be honest. Canada is like the 51st state. All right, so we don't count Canada as being. They're not foreigners; they're Canadians.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got America, and then we'll make Canada the 51st state. So we get all of those guys in Canada as well. And the hockey is just so. It's so entertaining. I'm sorry. I end up on a hockey game. And last night I had the Bees, and that was a really, really good hockey game, playing against the Kraken. And by the way, John Forsland, I would watch a Seattle Kraken hockey game just to listen to John Forsland do the game. I mean, the Bruins, my beloved Bruins, have the worst play-by-play man in Jack Edwards is his name. Used to be on ESPN. Jack Edwards.
Yeah, I've heard of that name.
He sounds like he's had a stroke. I mean, I say it, it's sad, and nobody will say if something is wrong with him, but he's awful. And what I do is when I watch the Bruins, I always watch the other team's telecast because I can't watch my own guy because it's awful.
Well, I'm a big Braden Gaudin fan for baseball, but when he does football, I think he's great because he did Madden for years.
Really? Didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. I'm going to a banquet tonight with my pastor and his wife and my wife.
Nice.
The pastor's wife invited I don't even know what it is for. All I know it's in Tullahoma, and we're picking the pastor and his wife up at 5:30, and we're going to a banquet tonight. I'm not sure what it is. All right, that's going to do it. Coming up next, Paul Feinbaum Show. Then Furniture Factory for Wes and Steve on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You want the right spec.